September update from General David Petraeus from Iraq is the next scheduled landmark course of President Bush's remaining 17 months in office. Skeptics in the Washington press corps wonder aloud today about the fact that the Bush administration, not General Petraeus himself, will pen the actual report document. The administration dismisses the skepticism, noting that Petraeus will testify publicly on his view of on-the-ground circumstances in Iraq after months of the troop surge. Is skepticism well-founded, or is the administration correct to accuse the Fourth Estate of creating a controversy where none exists? Here with his view is Korb, Senior Fellow at the Center for American Progress, and he joins us here in Washington. Thank you very much, Mr. Korb. What's your reaction to the Bush administration handling this report, now admitting, saying, no, it's not General Petraeus who will be writing this, it's the White House?
Well, they want to get the first word out, and they want to ensure that whatever General Petraeus says supports their own policy. So if, in fact, he would not be as supportive as they might like, they can come out first, and that'll be the first story. Then you'll put General Petraeus in an awkward position of going before the Congress and contradicting the commander-in-chief.
I mean, we counted today, and some of the research we did for this show and for Hardball, I mean, at least, 25 different times over the last 3 or 4 weeks where President Bush has said, David Petraeus, wait for David Petraeus. David Petraeus will report in September, and yet now it becomes sort of clear that, yeah, Petraeus will have some impact, but the same people who brought us mission accomplished, the same people who said that things are going well, are the same people who are going to be writing this report.
Well, not only writing, but speaking about it. And look what they did when they gave the benchmark report here a couple of weeks ago. The Iraqi government didn't meet any of the 18 benchmarks, but they made it seem like they had met 8 of them. In other words, by putting, if you will, the spin that they wanted on it by saying, well, they made a little progress here, or they did talk about it here. And, you know, the headline reads, well, they met half of them. No, that's not true. If you read the report, they met none of the 18 benchmarks.
Let's talk about the idea that the administration is putting forward that, in fact, it doesn't matter if they haven't made political progress because there's still security progress that is being made, and that'll create more breathing room. Do you buy that?
No, nonsense. The whole purpose of the surge, the president said, look, the reason they're not making political progress is they haven't had this breathing space that security will give us. Give me 30,000 more troops, 6 more months, and then we'll see. Well, he's got more. He's getting 9 months. He's got the 30,000 more troops. Still no political progress. In fact, you know, half the cabinet posts aren't filled. The parliament's on vacation. And so basically, even if General Petraeus can say security's improved, the whole purpose was not just to improve security, it was to get them to make the benchmark, meet the benchmark.
One of the reasons the Bush administration and the White House have such credibility problems is because of the statements that have been said. And I want to read something that the Center for American Progress, your organization, compiled and gave to us. And this is a series of quotes from top administration officials and various politicians over the last 2.5 years. May 2005, Vice President Cheney, I think they're in the last throes of the insurgency. October 2005, General David Petraeus. Developments over the next several months will be critical. November 2005, Senator John Warner. The next 6 months is a critical period. November 2006, Senator John McCain. The war's outcome will be seen within the next several months. November 2006, Prime Minister Maliki. Our forces will be ready by June 2007. January 2007, Secretary of State Rice. At 6 months, we will know. February 2007, Senator John McCain. We can know fairly well in a few months. August 2007, this month, Vice President Cheney. We'll know a lot more in September. President Bush this month. This summer is a critical time for the new strategy. And then Michael O'Hanlon, in a column that everybody in the White House has been passing around and urging us all to read and to consider, Michael O'Hanlon, give it 6 more months or so, maybe 9 more months.
Well, they keep goalposts, and they hope that Americans forget what they've said before, and they'll say, well, just look at the situation now. The fact of the matter is that they're nowhere close to getting the reconciliation which is necessary for Iraqis to stop killing each other. And it doesn't matter how long you stay, until they do that, it won't make any difference. And since President Bush has given that speech in January, okay, about 600 Americans have died. No place close to it. We're losing a battalion's worth of soldiers and Marines killed or wounded a month. Well, the Iraqis have made no progress. That's what they're fighting for the Iraqis to make it, and they're not. So it's time for us to set a date to get out, to give the Iraqis the only incentive we have left with them.
Well, I want to ask you about a report from last week that I just found incredible, that a lot of us in the media really haven't spent much time focusing on. Something like 190,000 weapons that the United States has given to the Iraqis have suddenly gone missing in Iraq and may, in fact, be used against U.S. troops. Is that something that should concern us, or is that just part of the cost of doing business there?
Very definitely. My colleague Ryan Katulis and I have been arguing for the longest time, stop arming the Iraqis, because you don't know where this stuff is going. And the fact of the matter is that these weapons are going to be used against Americans and against other Iraqis.
Lawrence Korb, Senior Fellow at the Center for American Progress, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
It is a border battle between